it going, guys? Dan here again, and I'm joined by Rob as usual, and we're gonna talk more old world
Yes, and
shenanigans. So we'll just start off like we normally do, and basically recent hobby we've been up to. I think it's gonna be fairly similar for both of us, as you was down for the weekend, and we managed to get a couple of two practice games in for the doubles event at Warhammer World we're planning on going to.
yeah,
I'll let you open up on how that went.
yeah. It was chaos being broken. That's all it is. No, joking. They went okay. So first game we played literally is the list as we were both bringing them. I was running my Witch Hunter Empire list. You were bringing your chaos, sort of mostly sort of like fairly, like I'd say fairly fast, like mixture of chariots, cavalry, bit of monsters.
Yeah, so I suppose for a bit of
Ollie was
context, it's myself and our friend Ollie versus Rob and my brother Matt. So I'm on Chaos Grand Army. Ollie was on Orcs and Goblins Grand Army, and then
Yeah.
you were on Empire Grand Army, and
Yeah.
Matt was on High Elves Grand Army.
High up grammar. Yeah. So we, it's a real thing because we were chatting about this when we first went to our first Throne of Skulls. I think Throne of Skulls is like the hardest events to write lists for because it's kind of like a middle, like because you can go with the attitude of just like I'm just gonna take a tournament list, I'm just gonna smash whatever. But I think it kind of goes against the whole spirit of the event, and I'm not also gonna say, oh, like you have to bring like an awful list. That there is a middle ground, but finding that middle ground is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because we found that when we went to the first event that you write one list and it's way too strong, and you're like, oh, I want people, I just want to find that, like, it's a chance to run those lists, which you're like, it's not amazing, but it could have some spice. But then you also don't want to run a list where you're like, so for the first event, I've gone a complete tangent here, but hang on.
That's right.
For the first event, I wanted to run a dwarf list, which was like based off like a royal, like not royal hold. It was a royal clan. Yes, no, it wasn't. It was a regular army, but it was a sort of meant to be sort of like a local small keep, and it was the idea. It was the Thane who it was like led by a Thane. They had like a runesmith, and it was them like mustering the small throng, that kind of thing. And I really wanted to run this list, and I tried it, and like it was okay, but it would work maybe in eighth, but it doesn't work on Old World. And it was a case of like we tested it against a normal list, and it was just getting blitzed. And it's that whole balance of going, well, I want to have an all right time, so I don't want to bring something that's absolute trash.
Yeah, like
So I find it very
you
difficult.
don't want to build some sort of like competitive build list, like a tournament
Mm.
standard list, but you also
Mm.
don't want to get stomped into the ground every game. So you want to
Yeah.
give you and your opponent a challenging game that
Mm.
isn't like tedious.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I think personally, and I think most people like this, if you steamroll, I mean, some people might enjoy it, but personally for me, if I steamroll my opponent, it's not very enjoyable. They're not having a good time, and I'm not. There's no interaction, and it sounds like there's no like thinking, there's no sort of challenge. But then if I'm also getting steamrolled, it's like the same thing of where it's like, well, this isn't great. I'm doing nothing, and you're just absolutely blitzing me. So I always think it's great to try and find a middle ground. But yeah, so I ran my list, and in the first game, like we got tabled in pretty much both games. I'd say the first game went worse than the second one. I think the second one had potential to be better. It was also a case of it was quite late by the end of it. I had to drive back down.
Yeah, you had a
To
6-hour
work.
drive after game 2, didn't you?
Yeah. And so I'll be honest, I sort of tapped out. Like I made the dumbest move with my knights, where I literally just parked them in front of a chaos chariot and a unit of chaos knights, and was like, "Yeah, soddy, let's just see what happens." And they got absolutely rinsed, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, I think like
'Cause,
so.
like-
To start with, I think let's just do a quick breakdown of the lists and then
Yeah.
what we're planning on taking. So, do you want to start with yours, or do you want me to go first?
Well, my list has changed a bit, so if you want to do yours,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
sort of briefly
So,
talk about mine. Yeah.
Well, mine hasn't changed just because I'm lazy and I don't want to paint anymore. So I only have to paint 4 models to get this done. So I'm probably going to
That's
stick
fair.
with it. Unless Cathay come out, and I could be tempted. Maybe.
Yeah, we're all
Maybe.
gonna end up doing Cathay
But
in
that's
this group,
another
I
can
think,
of worms.
realistically.
So
Yeah.
I've basically tried to find a middle ground with mine. So I'm taking Warriors of Chaos. I don't really bring them to events very often. So put the Pretonians back on the shelf.
Immediately, just
and get these back out. And
Wrong.
there's no dragon, so it's tame.
Oh no!
Well, I've basically built the same Chaos Lord that would normally sit atop a dragon, but put him on a chariot.
On a chariot.
So it's, for me, like, my narrative excuse is it gives me an excuse to use the old Chaos War Shrine model.
Yeah, that's fair.
But obviously, I also want to make it challenging, so if you do play that guy that still brings the dragon list, at least you can contend with them. So essentially, it's a Chaos Lord, all the Grubbins, Mark and Urgle. He's on a chariot, he's got an Urgle Blade and 2 favours and an extra arm. I had 3 points spare, so I've gave him a flail as well. There's a 1 in a million he'll use it, and it's if he gets Vals and Makings from High Elves.
Yeah, that's
so
a good shout. That's a good shout.
And
yeah,
that's not pure tactics. It's just literally it's the only place I can put the 3 points. So if it comes up, I'm prepared for it. If not,
has he? He's probably got a shield. He's got the lot. All right.
Well, I've not bothered with the shield because the chariot just gives him a 3-up anyway. So again, you're wasting your points.
Oh yeah, true.
So just flail on the off chance a high off player tries to unmaking him. He's prepared. Core again, 5 knights, full command, lancers, no mark, 5 warhounds, no upgrades, and 8 marauders, and just given flails. Undivided Chaos Chariot, and then a giant spawn of Slanesh, just because mine's painted pink.
But the giant spawn is so good for its points.
It's like, just cost effective. Like it's random movement, so people can't flee away from it. If you put it in front of chaff, it's like I say, it's just cheap for what it does. It's still got stomps. Obviously, this one's got strikes first and counter charge, so yeah,
it's got first charge.
It's got first charge. You can charge it into inventory. It's unbreakable in case you whiff. It can technically heal itself. Like, just does everything it says on the tin. So that's
discussed that in the arcade channel.
Particular build. I think it should do fine. It might suffer against heavy shooting lists, but it depends what we come up against. Like
I think
game 2 it was a bit touch and go, and the Lord, if you didn't miss,
he ran away.
He charged into one combat, whiffed, and broke and fled because he got outnumbered, and then he was on 4 wounds at that point because he'd already been great cannoned once. And then
he was on 3 actually.
Yeah, as you tried to great cannon him as he was fleeing away, so you misfired. So that could have put him in his place, but I think we looked out on that one. Yeah. And then game 1 he was on the other side of the board, so he just couldn't be cannoned.
Oh yeah, I mean that was the thing we found. So in like the first game, I'll go through my list quickly and then we'll just go over the context for it. So my list it has changed now, only slightly, but well. I think this way is better, but we'll go through it anyway. So it was led by Witch Hunter on a Pegasus with the pearl daggers. It was funny.
Trying to replicate them Bretonians.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, come on, it works for them, it worked for us. Apart from ours only got 6-up armor save and nothing else. A wizard, a master mage, so not level 4 initially, so just a level 2 naked as is. A priest of Sigmar with Meteoric Iron and the White Cloak. Really like Meteoric Iron on him. I found that really good. Like he tanked. That was the best part of that entire game. Well, briefly go over that.
Well, actually, yeah, because I didn't actually whiff, did I? I actually got like 6 hits, 5 wounds, but I think you rolled like
1v1 the Chaos Lord.
Yeah.
And took 1 wound against everything, and did a wound back. And I was like, cool. 114 point. It's just fought like a nearly 400 point Chaos Lord. I'll take that. It's not going to happen ever again, but it was cool. I've then got a unit of 28, the best unit ever. Free Company Militia. So good. Horde, no other combat res, amazing. And they've got a champion. 8 Empire Archers with Fire and Flee and Scouts and a champion. I then have had a Great Cannon, which I still have actually. A unit of 5 Road Wardens with no, correction. They literally just have pistols, and there's 5 of them. And then a unit of 4 Knights of the White Wolf with full command, the Tapestry of Sigmar, and shields. And it was a case of, in like both cases with the Knights. So in the first game, basically the
game 1 they sat opposite the Boar Boy unit.
They sat opposite a Boar Boy unit, and it came down to a dice roll. Unfortunately, when I countercharged,
you rolled a 2, so it meant the balls were going first.
I just realised I'm an idiot. What's the initiative of Ball Boy?
I want to say 3.
Yeah, so I still would have gone at the same time. Because it's D3 plus 1, so I would have gone 2 inches.
Oh yeah, you always minimum go 2. Yeah.
So I would have got plus 2, so I would have gone to initiative 6.
What is the initiative of Ball Boy? Actually, there might be 2.
I think there might be 2 or 3.
Oh no, they're initiative 3, so they're 6. But
So
yeah,
we would've
it
got-
meant on a 1. Yeah, you should have minimum again at the same time. Well,
So
that's what practice
immediately-
games are for.
Yeah, immediately I've just realised that. So basically, what happened was for some reason, my head was, I was like, I need to roll at least a 2 on the D3, 1 so I can get Furious Charge and the hammers activated. Like that's the other thing as well. Like even if I got the initiative, I don't think I would have done enough to really affect it. I needed that 3 because suddenly if I get the 3, it's then 9 attacks. I'm hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s. With 9 attacks, like you're statistically looking at, I should really do like 7 or 8 wounds. Maybe more like 7. But because I just completely forgot that I would have gone at the same time, I didn't, and they just smashed into me and obliterated the unit. The unit just shattered to dust.
And then I think they proceeded to overrun into Matt's
They
Dragon
overran
Princes.
they overran into the Dragon Princes. I charged with the Witch Hunter. My logic was like, right, well, I'll challenge. If he declines, then whatever. And like because he's got Killing Blow, it's unlikely. But if he gets the 5 attacks, he's hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, re-rolling. Oh no, sorry. He's hitting on 3s, re-rolling, and then wounding on 4s. But I'm basically sacking 6s because every 6 is just a dead Ball Boy. Ollie accept the challenge. I think I killed him, but just did the 1 wound. I Killing Blowed him, but that was it. And then he just basically
The combat
was
ratio
it?
out.
The Dragon Princes died. They all died. And luckily I gave ground, but then the next turn he just ripped me apart. Like because it's like, oh, I don't get any of my buffs. It didn't matter. He was hitting me on 4s, wounding me on 4s, and I had a 6 of arm save. That was it. So it was just I think it took like 1, maybe 2 turns, and then that was it. Those Ball Boys did so much work, and which is ironic because we were slating the hell out of them very previously for doing nothing. And in that game, they killed the Inner Circle Knights, the Dragon Princes, and like they killed probably roughly about. I don't want to, but probably like 600-700 points. One of it is for my general, so yeah, it's definitely 700 points.
Yeah, because then, like I say, they bent round into the bolt throw, didn't they, and started moving some of Matt's forces.
Yeah, and they crushed into the bolt throw. Then they charged the archers and killed that. So that game was pretty much a clean sweep. Like my Ollie was running the level 4 Wyvern machine gun orc Wyvern wizard, and he killed all the road ones down to 1. And then was just like sort of blasting away. Like we had some okay moments, so we did kill the Wyvern.
Yeah.
I'm going to give credit to the cannon for that. The cannon was like on point in that game.
Yeah, because like
just
turn 1 it
stacking
was
fours.
hit, wounded the chariot, rolled the 5, it's dead. Turn
Just
2
dead
it
it,
was
yeah,
hit the
killed it.
Wyvern, failed his ward,
Yeah, did
rolled
4
the 5,
wounds.
did another 4 wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, we almost killed him in a turn, which that turn would have been huge, because if we killed the Wyvern, because then Ollie cast Gaze of Gork and it just eviscerated 11 militia, and that was like brutal. So if he hadn't done that, I don't think I would have won the fight necessarily, but like I would have had a bit more combat res. I wouldn't have been outnumbered, even with the Marauders charging. I think I still would have been okay. So I might have just get more back in order. But we got table basically once the Chaos Lord had got in, because we hadn't started working on him earlier. There was nothing we could do. The only thing Matt was kind of doing was he was making the unit of spearmen. Yes, spearmen. Far list of change.
I suppose, yeah, I can't remember their list off by heart, but obviously I was with Ollie.
So Matt,
Ollie had the Wyvern Shaman on Battle Magic and basically had
Fireball.
Ruby Ring. The idea was, I think he had Pillar, Ruby Ring, rolled Fireball, and then swapped out for Gaze of Gork. So obviously, like I say, it's the laser build. I think he had a BSB in a unit of... Did he have Black Orcs in that list?
No, he didn't have any BSB. So in that list, it was then a brick of, I want to say 9 Ball Boys with, or 9 or 10 Ball Boys with the Frenzy Banner, Spears, the lot. He then had a unit of Big Uns with paired weapons and Frenzy and Warpaint with the Banner of Butchery, so they were strength 5. And then he also had a Ball Boy Chariot, and I think that's it. Yeah,
no, it was the smaller list out of the 2. Yeah, and then obviously
that was all he had in that. Noble with the Sword of Might, the Enchanted Shield, and full plate. A level 2, I think, just as is with high magic.
I think he had
They were in a
Silvery one
brick
just
of-
for the extra spell, but
Oh yes, sorry, I did have Silvery one. Then they were in a brick of Spearmen. I think they were 17 man strong. A brick of 12 archers, a brick of 10 Sisters of Avalon, a brick of 5 Dragon Princes with full command, and a bolt thrower. So like the thing is like okay, like Matt was like Stone Skulls. I want to run Spearmen. So camera shaking. I want to run Spearmen, and it's unfortunately where Spearmen are just bad. Like even in like casual games, like we've played so many games where we've just played casually. It's been like, oh, I just charge like Dwarf Warriors and Spearmen, and they just fold. Like they have no hitting power, and they're strength. They're what's good for, but they're strength 3, even with the initiative bonus, and they've only got 5 up armor save, and they're T3. They just get flatlined by basically anything that touches them.
He delayed like by a turn, I think, just because he had Walk on, so it meant he kept shutting off me impact hits. But like, it still was nowhere near enough.
It was because you had the Ogre Blade. Like that's the thing. If you didn't have the Ogre Blade, then I think not. I don't want to say it would have been a different game, but you would have done way less damage because you still got your ensorcer weapons, but you're not doing because the thing with the Ogre Blade, it was like right, I hit a wound, D3, I get max combat res. It was just like I get max. It was so easy to max out the combat res and just outdo it. So, but yeah, that was a tabling. Like we killed the Wyvern, which was great, but effectively at that point, like the spawn got in and everything else got in. The spawn unfortunately managed to roll like 17 and get into the Sisters of Avalon, and then at that point they would because the problem there was they couldn't flee because they're immune to psychology, and then it was just like boom, boom, boom.
Well, that's the trouble. They couldn't flee anyway because, like you say, because it's random movement, it's not declaring charges.
So well, yeah, actually, right. So yeah,
it just catches units with their pants down.
Yeah. So, and like you weren't even killing a lot. You would literally kill like 1 or 2, and then. Matt just rolled the 9, and they are leash at 9, but because you've got Terror, that's something I want to address. Just make immune psychology just ignore the lot. It's such a needless added complication in some way. Oh, I think it is to have it where it's like they ignore all of this, not this bit, and then all of this. Just make it ignore Terror and just.
It's immune to half of psychology.
Yeah,
immune 3/4 psychology.
Because it's something that can get caught out. Like, fair enough, once you know, like I know now and all this, but it's such an easy, well, they're in psychology, they don't care. It's the same thing with move through cover. Like, move through cover is you ignore some of it, but not all of it. And I think it should just be you ignore it all. Yeah, okay, it's powerful, but it would just make it so much simpler. It's like you don't care about any, you like this bit and you don't like this bit.
Yeah, I was in a similar boat. I think like it was when I played Steve Toll at the last GT. The first GT at Warhammer World. Because I was like, I think I sent my Grail Knights into his dragon, and then I obviously stubborn the first time, tried to roll the second time, just obviously keep pushing back, and I was like, nice, I got my 9. He's like, Terror. It's like, I'm immune. It's like, yeah, you're not to the -1. And then we checked, and I was like, oh fuck. So obviously then I broke.
Yeah, and like so, it's not like a case where it's like, it makes the rule bad. It's still a good rule, but it's just got that thing of like,
it's going to catch you out once, and then you got to be mindful of it. And there's a few rules like that.
In the second game, so Matt didn't change his list. You didn't change yours. Ollie went for I'd call it classic Orcs and Goblins. It was a level 4 in a brick of like 18 Black Orcs with a BSB. He had the Raggedy Flag. 2 bricks of 20 Orc Boys with spears, and 2 10-man goblins. And it was basically like a big... Like, we even said, just make a big movement trade, because it all just went down. And we just... You guys, if you went, that's our first drop. It's 6 drops. Go mad. And then we deployed. I changed my lust up a bit, so I binned off the Road Wardens, and I bumped my Wizard to a level 4 and gave him the Lore Familiar. Was better. No questions. Because when I could pick my spells, I went on Demonology. I could actually get the buffing spells. But it just meant it was mostly actually the usefulness was to stop Ollie's spells, like to counter the other spells.
That's the main thing. It's contending with other level 4s.
Yeah. And then that one was a bit more back and forth. As I say, I managed to turn 1 like 2 4 wounds. No, I think it was only like 3 wounds. No, turn 1 we halved the Chaos Lord on Chariot.
Yeah, you got the
because we were like, right, that's the problem. And we managed to do a bit, but it basically came down to like. Not completely, but the bit that it was similar. Like I say, we got tabled. I think we did better. We nearly killed the. What was it? We nearly killed the Chaos Lord. He fled for a bit. That was great, having him out of the game. my knights and your knights basically started playing chicken, and then eventually I just went, oh, bollocks to it. Like I'm just going to go here, and then obviously that didn't work. But the thing that did it for me that entire game, the thing that royally pissed me off, is the stupidness of fall back in good order. So I charged into the Marauders with the Witch Hunter. And one combat, I think you did one wound, and I did like 3 or 4. And you broke a fled through, like you just disappeared. So I overran, but I had to stop because I only rolled enough to get somewhere. I was like, cool.
But I think it put you into like a good flank to the Black Orcs to assist at what was going on.
Yeah. And I was out of arc of the Knights. I could see loads of stuff. It was really good. And I was like, oh, I need to take a break check on the chariot. Cool. So you broke and fled, and
well, no, I failed. So
like,
I failed the panic test from the Marauders breaking and fleeing.
Yeah, and then you fell back in good order, fell back, and then just suddenly just turned and was like, I was like, great. I was like, oh, that's right. At least I could flee. It's like, he's mid psychology. It's like, oh, brilliant. So he's just dead.
Yeah.
Like literally, there was nothing I could do about it because even if you whiffed your impact hits, like he had a 6 farm save. That was it. So I was like, well, he's basically screwed. So yeah, he got you overran, you killed him, and then you overran and got into with the Black Orcs and the regular Orcs. Well, yeah. They all got into the militia, and like the combat res was like 14 difference, and I was like, right.
Well, like I say, it tied up perfectly, didn't it? So I got rewarded for failing a panic test because it meant I got to kill you.
Yeah, and but then like, because of the ordering, fine with everything.
Yeah, because of the sequencing of the turn, we fought that first when Ollie charged the big brick of militia. Yeah. So the chariot just killed your general and fought again, and then I think it steamrolled the centre of the board.
It was so irritating because that's not the first time it's happened to me in a game. Like me and Ollie played a game a few months back when we were testing for the Forgotten North. I was building a list for that. No, it was for the Old World GT the weekend before the Forgotten North. And I was like, okay, cool. I killed a chariot, and then one of Ollie's chariots, I think it was his war boss. I think it was one of the chariots. It again fell back in good order, and then suddenly he was in a better position. I'm like, how can it be a case of I get punished for making him run away? Like I have no control over that. Like I need to kill the stuff, so it's like, it's a really like minor gripe I have because it's like if it was, it's just oh cool. I was out like you've just positioned, so you're out of the way. Oh, you made this right. I can see you now. It's like,
maybe a good change would be like you still do a flee per se, but whether you like I don't know what the technicality will be on the ruling, but like so basically you'll flee and automatically rally, but you don't fall back in good order, so you'd still be facing the same direction for the preceding turn. Rally, so it stops you from charging and stuff. But then you get your reform.
Yeah, it's the free reform. I mean, because fair enough. We might get comments on this going like, "Oh, just prepare for that."
Yeah.
And it's like
just don't win your combat.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, like it's sort of like okay, well, I can prepare for it to a point, but I can't. Like literally in that situation, I charged the Marauders because I was like, I don't want that getting into my archers and my cannon, and I was in a good position, so I was like, I should win that. Bam, did. And I was like, but I have no control of the direction at all. I have no control of how far I go, and I have no control of his end position, pretty much. And like, because I'm a skirmisher, I don't give a reform or anything. So yeah, it was kind of like, well, say, but I've changed up the list again, which I know you shouldn't keep doing, but I've changed it up again, and I think this one is better. It's still not great, but I think it's better. I'm still running the freaking militia. I refuse to not run them. I refuse. So it's pretty similar. So I've kept the level 4. I was going to drop into a level 2, but the level 4s are so useful. And me and Matt as well have discussed, because he's changed his list completely, to something I'm very happy that he has considered to run. And I don't care if it's cheesy, because he's bringing out the dragons. And finally, I will not have to face them.
I know he's contending about a griffin as well, isn't he?
No, dragon. No, just dragon.
He's bringing a monster mount, so that's.
I'm pushing him to the dragon, but he's basically going dragon and cav, because he's not against the idea. And I said, well, the thing is like it's good, but it's one of those where like I said, your strong army will be offset by my garbage. Yeah. That's the best way to look at it.
Harmony.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect harmony, like Cathay will be. So it's a wizard lord. Now, to add a bit more spice, I've dropped the Lore Familiar and gone for an Arcane Familiar because the Demonology was nice. Don't get me wrong, but there were certain spells which I found were actually not that useful. Like Steed of Shadows was good. Really, the one I really want is just
Is it Demonic
Demonic
Vigor,
Vessel.
the AP? Oh yeah.
Demonic Vessel is the one +1 tank, +1 attacks, and +1 AP. Because one, it buffs their shooting, and two, it also I can do it in combat, and it just makes the unit like way better. So I was thinking, oh well, if I take Dark Magic, I can try and go for, again, not easy, but I could try and go for Battle Lust. If I can get all the perfect world, if everything aligns in the perfect combination, I could give them, like, again, I could have the Militia at 4 attacks, strength 4 -1. Rerolling ones to hit and wound. Could be, well, they'd automatically reroll to hit, because obviously it's friendly, but reroll wants to wound as well.
Hatred.
And it's like, yeah, hatred, sorry. So it's like, okay, it's not amazing and it's not reliable, but it could work. And if it does work, mint. I mean, I could get Sea of Shadows. That's not bad. I can still get the one which is +1 move and +1 initiative. Like, there's multiple things in there. So I don't know. I'm probably just going to roll 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. And there's spells for each, because I wouldn't even be against if he gets like an assailment. Like, there's definitely some good stuff with that. I can't take. Oh no, I can take a signature with this technically. So that's not the end of the world.
I wonder how that works, like for events, because I know normally you have to.
Because there's also I considered. Oh, I can't take eye. Ignore me. I thought I could take eye magic.
So for events normally you have to sort of add to your army list, don't you? What lore you're taking?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're familiar if you have to just put both on there.
I've
never seen anybody run it before.
Well, it's because it's unreliable and not great.
It's Throw to Skulls.
It's Throw to Skulls, so I thought I'll bring it because if I was really going wacky, I'd love to honestly just roll and be like, right, I'm gonna roll a d6, and I'm gonna roll a d6, and then I'm gonna roll another d6, and they're the 2 laws I'm gonna pick from, and then I'm gonna completely randomize everything. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do that. I'm not allowed, but I kind of would be. I'd be interested to see if I can ask because it would fit the theme of the army better if I don't have control. But that's the main thing. And then I've got the Witch Hunter is now on foot. He still has the Pearl Daggers because the way I look at it is, okay, it's not amazing, but at least it gives him a bit of killing power. You know what I mean? Like, he can get up to 5 attacks with Killing Blow and rerolling to hit. And again, he's now in the Warrior Priest unit with the Free Company Militia, so he could get those like small buffs. Priest Sigmar is exactly the same. He actually was like one of the best parts of the list. He's a really nice addition to it, so I can't complain. Again, Free Company Militia, Emperor Archers, great cannon. I've ditched the Knights of the White Wolf for 3 demis. Yeah. I think because I've lost 1 knight, but then I've I've gone from the 4 knights to 3 demigryphs.
Yeah, and you've doubled the amount of wins you've got technically. Is that 3 each?
Yeah, because they're 3, so there's 9. They're 9. So yeah, I've gone above, and their damage output's more.
And then Icon of More, remind me, is Terror.
It gives them fear, but if they already have fear, it gives them terror.
Which they presumably have fear.
Yeah. So my logic was, again, if in a perfect world, you charge, like, for example, if I charge Cav, they fail the terror. If there's double Cav, I could then redirect to the other one, and they can only flee or pursue, or take terror as well. So, and, if I charge into monsters and stuff, I don't have to take the terror, I ignore the terror at that point.
Yeah, they've definitely got more survivability and output.
Yeah, I think they'll do more. I've always loved the models, so I was like, oh, that's fine. I need to find a way to sort of I'm going to give them like the guys on top hoods and stuff, and like make them all like evil and villainous and stuff. But it's we'll try it. It's like I'm not that bothered. I was going to run a unit of 2 with a chapter master in there, but the cost was mental. Like, he was like adding even just like a basic chapter master. Like, I think I might have been able to give him he was a chapter master of the White Wolf. I gave him a hammer, and I think I gave him a talisman of protection, and he was like 167 points or 170 points. He was mega expensive.
Yeah, I think that's to be fair. I think that's one of the difficulties we've had writing like 1,000-point lists, like for a doubles event, because obviously this is the first one we've been to. We've had like doubles games in the past, but usually they've been like 3 or 4K, not like 2K between
Yeah.
you. So I think especially in the list building stages, it seems so easy to get carried away because you just sort of go into autopilot of like, right, cool, put this character, put this on him, and then you'll start adding units and you think, right, I've got 2 units, where have all my points gone?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And
I
suddenly you
it's
have to
mental,
rein
like,
it back just to make it legal.
and I also you can't run the armies of infamy. Not what?
No.
Sorry, correction. You can if your other player is playing the same army. So, for example, like if you brought out your dwarves, me and you, I could run Expo Force, and you could run Grand Army, let's say. But it, like, I think it's a bit of a shame. I can see why balance reasons. Like we talked about doing at one point. We were like, I wonder how like we were talking about doing pegs and gyros because we're scum.
Yeah.
And we were like, I was like, I
never heard of her.
Yeah, I was because I think you could get like 7 pegs, one of them being a baron, I think.
Yeah.
And then I could get like 10 or 12 gyros, and it's all legal. And I was like, this is silly.
Yeah, because then
I mean, I don't necessarily broke.
Ian and Ollie were going to do sort of like a mounted
horrendous.
force, so I think he was going to run Nomadic War. I was going to try and do Heralds of Darkness. I know Matt was obviously going to do the Shuration War Host.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a shame, really. I get because I would consider doing the. The other day I was like, ooh, I want to still do the Witch Hunter build, but maybe I do like a Gardens of More to sort of fit like the knightly order that goes with them, and do that. But I can't. Like, you just can't. So, yeah, it's a shame. But I mean, all this as well, guys, could completely change. Because, for example, they've just announced Beastmen. I've just bought Space Wolves.
timing, eh?
And Empire, brilliant. And then Cathay, and I thought like it's one of those because originally Ollie was like, "I'm going to do Cathay," and we were like, "Yeah, cool, they'll look great." Then the models came out, and I was like, "Oh, I do Cathay now because they are stunning models." And then the other day we were sitting after the first game, and you were just like, I might buy some Cathay. So it's just like we're just going to end up like, who wants? Like, I think Matt should buy them, and then we'll just have a big Cathay war. Who is the better defender?
Well, like I say, when I dropped Ollie off, I think we were discussing it, and I think we were trying to work out like, so we've got 12 weeks till the event.
Yeah, it's not long.
11, 12 weeks.
Yeah, it's not long.
Obviously, Beastmen are on pre-order this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's 11 weeks. Obviously,
amazingly, the book hasn't been leaked.
Not yet. Give it time.
I'm shocked.
Give it 2-week pre-order. So once they come out, you'll be at 9 weeks. So if there's another week, 8 weeks, and then let's say they just announce Cathay in the same time, then theoretically, when the Cathay actually come out, I think there'll be 5 weeks till the event.
Yeah, see, this is where I'm thinking how they're going to time it, because there's also this. There's like, there's rumors out there of like a big.
Oh, the 1.5 edition in the Grapevine or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, like or the not militia pack, the tournament pack and all this sort of stuff. So there's loads of rumors going around about stuff. Again, we don't just clarify. We don't know. We hear all the same stuff. We don't know anything extra.
Yeah.
We're literally just like hearing stuff online. You know what I mean? Like we just feed off what we hear from other people. So, but
it's
like
the Chinese whispers in the Grapevine, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And like, the tournament pack can affect it. I mean, I'm really hoping for the Throne of Skulls. I really want them to do some different missions. Because, I mean, we know they're not because they would have released them with the event pack. But it would have been super cool if it was just like, oh, we got this mission and this mission. And again, make them really wacky. So if somebody's like, I brought a dragon, I know obviously Matt's bringing one, but it would be that because he feels like he has to not even just like stomp. It's just a case of like he wanted to bring the more casual lists, and it's just like, well, that's why I think he's considering the Griffin as a nice middle ground where he can run other stuff.
It's like my Chariot Lord. It's like I could take the Dragon Lord, but if I chuck him on another mount, it feels like I'm not gaming it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you build the same Lord on a Griffin, it's like I'm in the middle, but. Yeah, I mean, if GW are smart and this tournament pack, event pack, 1.5 General's Handbook, whatever it is in the Grapevine, you'd think they'd be smart enough that they'd announce it with like a grand tournament So like the third grand tournament or the third
Yeah.
Corona schools or however they want to fit it, announce it, and it sort of like comes out, and this is our first event field in the missions or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hoping to see. I mean, Cathay will come out. That'll be cool. I'm looking forward to Beastmen. Um, I don't think we're getting the Bull Army unless they do what they've done with like dwarves and Sylvaneth. Oh my god, that's blasphemy! And Wood Elves, where they're kind of like they're not full on armies of infamy related to that. So, for example, they didn't bring out Slayer Hold, but in Royal Clan you can build a Slayer army. They didn't bring out Tree Spirits, but in the army of
The wild one.
Taliesin, you
Oh
can.
yeah.
No,
Host of
Talison's
Taliesin.
Force. You can build effectively a Spirit Host army, pretty much. So they might do the same, where they might have like a certain one of the armies of infamy is all bulls, which I would really like because that's what I would like to build is like an all
Yeah.
Minotaur army.
Well-
I would love Beastmen. I just don't want to have to
Just-
spam Viletide.
Usually
Like-
in the Arcane Journal announcements or the faction announcements, when they
Yeah.
tease the Arcane Journal in the article, normally they tell you the named characters and what the armies of infamy are called. They've given us the characters, but not the armies of infamy, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of them think a lot of people the one that a lot of people think is coming is like a Warhoof army.
Well, I
Now
saw
that could be
in one of the articles it mentioned like Zangors and stuff.
because that's the only thing they could do faction specific, not fact like
God specific.
chaos specific,
Yeah.
god specific beastmen. They have done it before. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm not going to go mad for the pre-order in terms of expenditure. I'm going to Canada in 2 weeks, so I can't go mad. But I'm probably going to pick up the book, not the dice, not the cards, and that's probably it. Because the box is really good value, but it's full of infantry. And it's like, do I want to run loads of gore? Like, because I like gore. I like Ungor. They're really cool. I love Bestigor. They're awesome aesthetically, but they're just dreadful in game. So I'm tempted with the Beastmen just to see. Because also, if it's a 1,000-point list, maybe I could build something that's spicy. I mean, we'd have to rejig who's going with who. But conveniently, me and you are flexible.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we've got 2 or 3 armies between us.
Or will
so-
be, yeah.
I mean, Ollie has technically, but the majority of them are ravaging hordes.
Yeah, well, when Cathay comes out, he'll have that and stuff. We just got to persuade Matt to buy a new Evil Army, and then we're all good for future events.
They
But
could
I
borrow
don't think he ever
chaos.
will.
Could you imagine
with
Matt
the knife
fielding a chaos army?
He never would. He'd never do it. He'd never do it ever. But yeah, we're looking forward to the event. Like I know I am. I'm really intrigued to see the list. I'm looking forward to finish painting this army. I've got these guys have finally arrived the other day for my archers. So I've got to build them. And then I'm going to order the demigriffs. But because we've got a bit more time, I'm just going to again hang fire on ordering the demis. Because I want to sort of find a way to make them look a bit more grimdark and a bit more scary, like I have with the rest of the army. I don't know whether to try and put cows over their heads or something. Because I was thinking about a unit that I could use instead, like not the demigriff knights. But I really like the demigriff knights, and I think with like a dark paint job and giving the guys hoods, and I might try and get. I have one. Might try and raid your bits box. Is to use the Bretonian great axes
Ooh, that'd be
instead
a
of
shout,
the
yeah.
hammers, and like make them like big executioner dudes, like chop off the top of the axe and cut it, so it's like it's a flat-headed, skinny axe sort of thing. But
Yeah.
because also I think you can give them halberds, so hopefully they should just, even if it's a case if I just chop the head off the halberd and stick on the axe, it could work.
Yeah,
but
like you say, keep up the hooded
I'd try it.
theme. Maybe like one of them holding like a torch or something, and the axe is like straddling
Yeah.
at the side, shield
Yeah,
mounted on the
something
back
like
or
that.
something.
Yeah. But yeah, or like for a banner, give them a giant brazier, just huge flaming brazier. Would be kind of cool. But yeah,
What would
so-
be cool is, I don't know if it'd fit the theme though, but obviously it'd be expensive. You could do like a skin wolf like crossed onto the banner or something.
I mean, that would be kind of cool because what I did consider at one point was I wanted to do like flayed, like flayed men from
Yeah, that's what I was
Game
thinking.
of Thrones. I was thinking about doing that for like my banners. So I could consider doing that. I'd have to find a well, I could use that. What's his face? The Who's the one that comes in the giant kit? Who's like this? I could just like cut him by the torso, like they've cut him in
Yeah.
half, and then so. But yeah, I'll have to see. Some
Yeah,
experiments
like I say,
going on. Yeah.
I'm in a fortunate spot that if I keep with this list, I only have to paint 4 Marauder Horsemen, and I'm sort of ready to rock and roll.
Mm.
Um, if Cathay come out when I predict, and I have 5 weeks, I think I could comfortably get 1,000 points painted at that point.
Yeah, it depends what paint job you go for and stuff. But I think with an airbrush, you'd be alright.
Yeah, and honestly, it all depends on points and stuff as well. Like if they're quite
They're
expensive,
going to be
obviously be
expensive.
even easier to paint them. If the inventory's like cheap and cheerful, and it's the monsters and the characters expensive, it's like that's going to dictate everything. But I think like I'm in a good spot. I've got if we do mix things up, I've got Protonians painted, ready to rock and roll. As soon as I paint these, I'm done and dusted. I've got plenty of chaos already painted as well. I'm mainly looking for some form of paint project between now and then, and see what arises.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
think Cathay would be cool.
Yeah, they're just the models look so good. I just keep looking at
Uh,
the Chinese great cannons and things like that, and with the ogre
yes,
loader.
yeah, they're great. The only thing I'm really hoping is just a little bit more, and I don't mean loads. Basically, the only thing I want them to release is crossbowmen for the Jade Warriors, or that like they go, oh look, you can run them as crossbowmen. That's the only thing. Even though okay, crossbowmen are great and all that sort of stuff, it would just mean that you've got a solid foundation for an army. Because at the moment they've got like I think the crane gunners and the all that sort of stuff, and because I really want the peasants, because I think aesthetically the peasants are actually really cool. I think they're great.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a cool aspect, and it would give you a cheap flavor for the army. Um,
Plus, there's
but we'll
the
have to see.
character on Spirit Dragon as well, which I presume is going to be Monstrous
Yeah.
Cav, but he hasn't actually got a unit to go into yet.
No, well, there's because there's the Longma Riders, which is what that is, which are basically just Pegasus Knights, pretty much.
I think if I had to put money on it, I think they're going to do Wood Elves are now out. They're going to release Beastmen. They're going to release Cathay. There's the rumours, obviously, of the redacted Arcane Journal that's going to be out afterwards, which everyone thinks is Kislev. So if they bring
Oh, is
out,
that another one?
yeah, so on one of the articles they snippeted about a Arcane Journal coming out after. I think it was after Cathay, but obviously they did their typical. So they where it said like the Arcane Journal for, they put in like a capitals and it just said redacted. So it was almost
Yeah.
like a here's something new coming as well, but you don't know what. So everyone seems to think Kislev because obviously the rumor is obviously the pinnacle point of their timeline is the Siege of Prague. So obviously
Yeah.
Azavar Cool and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So Kislev would make sense, but I think they'll release the General's Handbook or whatever it is after everybody's got all their stuff.
Mhm.
So hopefully, if they really flesh that out and it's like a nice big thick book, it's got maybe if they reworked in the what's the campaign that we tried to play a while ago.
Mighty Empires.
No, yeah, that too, but there's the other one. There's the Ollie's got the supplement for it. It's gonna bug me, that is.
Battle for Skill Pass?
No,
No?
it'll come back to me. But if it'd be nice if they had like a fleshed out tome of narrative missions, tournament missions, like maybe even like. Do you remember the Heresy articles when you used to get like
Yeah.
variant units?
Special units.
If like
Yeah,
all the
that'd be-
factions involved got variant units, and then that might be another way that they bring in like here's
Ah.
2 new Kislev army
Yeah.
units, here's 2 what else
Yeah.
units, almost like
I
a
think
book
Armies of
with
Infamy.
an army of infantry for everybody, but the units,
Yeah,
not the actual army.
See, I would love if they did like an Army of Infamy for everyone. Like, I think that's what GW should do from now on. Is like, release the Arcane Journal for Cathay, release them, give us some units and stuff. But I think they should really like push campaign books like they do in Heresy and put Armies of Infamy in there and like add like literally just break it down, have like dwarves, Army of Infamy, whatever it's gonna be. And then, like, it could be defending the mines, because in that, like, you can have miners as core, you can have Ironbreakers as special, or maybe Iron Drakes as special. Maybe not do that. Like, add in some extra stuff. Like, you could have, like, more elite versions of, like, Iron Breakers and all that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know if you get any more elite than that, but that's what I'm intrigued by. So, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm loving this game at the moment, especially, like, we're enjoying tournaments and stuff, but I'm just interested to see what else they release. I mean, I've never played a game ever where I want to do every army. Like, there's so many games I've played where I'm like, and then in this one, it's just like, no, I can play every single one. Like, every single one intrigues me of a playstyle. Like, Wood Elves, I was looking over them, and I was like, oh, doing, like, Wild Hunt, just all cav, would be awesome,
Yeah, they've hit that on the head.
Empire, I love them. Like, High Elves, doing the, doing high elves and doing the White Lion army. Like, there's loads of stuff I like to do. So yeah,
Blood in the Badlands. That's the book.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Yes, no,
So it'd be cool if
There's
they did
probably
that sort of
siege
stuff
rules.
again, but for Old World.
Yeah, giving us siege rules and stuff would be cool. I really want them to do a redo version of Mordheim because I really want to play Mordheim.
Yeah.
I have a real inkling, like a real urge. I mean, that's sort of where I got the inspiration for the Witch Hunter army, is because there's a Witch Hunter warband in Mordheim. I was like, that'd be cool. But I'd love to play Mordheim. I mean, I was even considering sitting down and just trying to like adapt it a little bit. So if I was playing with someone who's never played Old World, never played like older fantasy games, you could be like, okay, this all makes sense because it's all Old World terminology. Wouldn't be that hard to do, really.
No, I think it'd be fairly straightforward.
Yes.
But yeah,
I think
I think
it's happening for today.
that's everything we've got going on at the minute. You're obviously next up after Canada.
Yes, yeah, I'm hopefully back up in July on a permanent basis, ideally. Sort of mid July is the ideal, and then we can, play games more often and stuff like that, and get a lot more games. And I'd like to go to the TSN. I'd like to be able to attend more, like, I guess, local, smaller tournaments, if you want to call them that, and just get more practice in. I think, because realistically for me, I think dwarves are my staple. Like, that's who I'm going to stick with, probably throughout Old World.
They're your comfort army.
Yeah, basically. Beastmen and stuff, because like that's the problem I found. Whenever I go to write lists for any other army, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm writing here. That's why I like the Armies of Infamy, because it gives you that inspiration. Like competitively with Empire, like I know certain stuff, and like I've heard competitive stuff with other armies, but Dwarves is like the only one where I can sort of look at the army and build my own competitive list rather than just having to like net deck.
Well, I think
not saying they're very good.
Yeah,
but...
well, I think they're the underdog army in a way, and that's not to say they're bad, but I think like I've realised how dark my room's getting because the sun's got him.
Don't let Dario After Dark hit you say that, because he'll climb through his screen and.
Yeah, by underdog army, I don't mean like trash tier, should be kicked out of the game, bottom of the pedestal. Yeah. I think it's just because they lack so many resources that everybody else takes for granted. So they don't have cav, they don't have monsters, they don't really have chariots.
No.
They don't have anything that magic. Yeah, they don't really have magic. They don't have anything that can fly. They're playing Old World on like hard difficulty.
Not true.
Well, the chariots.
They've got the ultimate flying force.
Oh, Thank you very much. Sorry, yes.
They have the ultimate flying force.
The
nightmare of everyone's pain. Yeah, that's a list I'm building because I want to try it. Because one, aesthetically it looks awesome, and two, it sounds bad, guys. I don't mean, but it's vengeance incarnate, because it's just like when you put that on the board against like any Bretonians, Chaos, and all this, they go, nah, crap. Because okay, if they got Falconhorn, it's kind of a counter, but even then, it's still a rough fight. Because it just turns into a gun line.
Yeah.
That you have to sort of charge towards, and
I've only played into it once, and it was Aaron at Forgotten North. I think you played him around 2, and obviously it was still difficult. But I looked out that I just managed to kill this Gunthane, killed his engineer. I think I killed a unit of 2 gyros, and then I managed to preserve a lot of stuff. But it felt like a bloodbath on my end, but it was like a 12-8.
Yeah.
Just because you can't catch anything.
No, it's rough. Like I had that when I played that list as well. It was just hard as shit.
So tell a lot then. So dwarves have fly, but they're definitely playing every other resource on hard mode.
Yes, yeah. Like
which
I mean, like their infantry is great.
But... Yeah, which I think is really rewarding when you do well with them, because then like if you do like smash the dragon list and things like that, it's sort of I don't know. You get that self gratification that it's like, well, you've done this playing old school fantasy.
Yeah, I still need to build the Yeet and try that out.
Yeah, we've always been on the par that like cannons just shouldn't exist. Like great cannons should be the minimum. Yeah,
like so using a great cannon at the weekend, it was bliss. It was like I'm winning on 2s. You get like basically half the time no save, and then it's just like TT +1 wounds. It's like
because we
use normal cannons. I was like, and I was just smashing into it, and I was like, oh my god, 4 damage, and you get no save and all this, and it's like normal cannon.
Yeah, because we were stirring the pot a little bit, weren't we? Because you one bombed the chariot turn 1, we was like, dwarf cannon couldn't do that.
Yeah, no, literally, and it couldn't because it'd get a 6-up save, and I was like, this sucks. Like, why can't all cannons be like this? Because for me, I wouldn't mind the strength not being there. It's the AP and the damage. Like honestly, if I had to pick one part to take, it would be the AP.
But it's like
the damage is nice, but it's the AP.
Bretonian bombards. They're still strength 8. They're AP3, but they're D3+1. Like that. That
Yeah,
should be the normal
yeah,
cannon. Then a great
yeah,
cannon
yeah.
is like
Like
the same but strength 10.
yeah, it's strength 10 with the longer range. Like that would be fine, but unfortunately, it's not that way.
And I think like even though it's only one extra wound, but I think then it'd still help with monsters. Just because it
And it
changes
doesn't
the
feel
maths,
rough.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, like I'd rather a cannon be 2 wounds than D3.
Yeah.
Personally, because it's so inconsistent. Like you'll go, oh, cool, I managed to get through your 18 saves, and now I've got through them. I roll a 1.
Yeah.
Cool. So if I do that 9 more times, I'll kill your dragon, and then by turn 2, it's in combat. Like, so I think there's a few changes which I'm hoping GW are going to introduce, which I think will really help the game, because I still think monsters will be really good, but they'll just be dialed back. They won't be the auto just because I know a lot of people are talking about like, oh, dragons are dead in the meta. Don't get me wrong. Like if you look at top meta tournaments, yeah, okay, the people winning them, not a lot of them are running dragons. But then actually, on the other hand, like we'll look at the Forgotten North. The guy who came second, he still was running the classic double dragon list for chaos, and he went 5-0 and went pretty good. Like they're still really good, and if you're not obviously you can kind of it's a weird thing with dragons because you know they're going to be there, but even if you prepare for them you're like, oh god, like it's just that like price, what do I do against them? So they've got that such fear factor. So
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
interested to see what the changes are with the
Yeah,
armors
like I
and
say,
stuff.
I agree they've definitely toned down in the meta, but I think it's more that just people are more prepared for them nowadays, aren't they?
Yeah, they're still really good.
People just
Still
didn't know
good.
how to deal with them at the start of the edition, so you could get lazy with them and just go full send, they'll eat everything, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Whereas
pretty
now, like
much.
you say, people are working on the static combat res of 7, large target obviously can be shot up by everything, so the big bricks of
Mm.
like Iron Drakes or good shooting with sisters and things like that,
Yeah.
you can tech into them a bit more, but it's good that they're coming down, but then GW needs to
Yeah.
sort of do a lot more with other inventory and things like that, and probably cannons and just fine tune everything else. Just the dragons have come down a little bit. They just need to bring inventory back up a bit more, and then
Yeah.
we'll be in a happy place. I think. Not saying
Pretty
Oldwood's
much.
in a bad place, but it could be better.
No. Yeah. There's always improvements to be made in any game. So.
Yeah. Well, we're
Yeah.
keeping under par of being just under the hour mark, I think. So we'll probably call that there.
Mhm. Yep.
Hopefully, I mean, what? So we're trying to keep this 2 weekly. Might be able to squeeze another one in before you shoot off to Canada.
Yes, that'll be next week. So if we have time, we could try and squeeze one in, because I won't be here for that one. Worst case scenario, if it's at the week after, we'll do it then. Because then, ideally, once I move up, I think it'd be great if we could do them in person.
Yeah.
Both of us be there, and we could be on mic and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah, we can even get experimental with some battle reports, things like that, and
yeah.
obviously
That's
we
what
are
we looked at.
planning some Arcane Journal reviews. Probably play catch up with the Empire one and do the Wood Off one, but there's already
Yeah,
six.
have we done Empire?
I don't think we
We've
did.
done no.
Did we do
No, we
Empire?
haven't. No, we haven't done Empire. No, we haven't done Empire. We've done Dwarves, Chaos,
Orcs and
Orcs
Goblins.
and Goblins, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we still need to do Brett's, Tomb Kings,
High Elves.
Wood Elves, High
No,
Elves,
did we do High Elves?
Empire. We haven't done High Elves. We've only done 3,
Oh yeah.
I think.
God, we're lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, there's already 6 million of them on the internet, so there's no rush to do them. It's just more
Yeah.
to put
Ours
our
is
10
not
cents
going to be any
across.
different. Ours is probably going to be worse. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
So.
It's all subjective opinions at the end of the day, and we just like talking hobby. So that's the main reason we like doing them. But right, if you've got nothing else to add, I hope you all enjoyed this, and we'll either get an episode back out next week or in 3 weeks when you're back from Canada. So,
Yeah. Sounds ideal.
right, take it easy, guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Have a good one.